What's up, everyone? Welcome to another weekly hangout with Run the Night TV. I'm Alex, and we are joined here today with the lovely, lovely John Breeze. How you doing today, Breeze?
Going on, everybody? How are you?
So this man right here, he is a self-proclaimed jack of all trades, but I can confirm this to be accurate. He does so many interesting, cool things in this industry and in the marketing industry, and that's why I wanted him on here today. He kind of joined us a little last minute, but always happy to have him. So, Breeze, if you kind of want to introduce yourself and tell everyone what it is that you do.
Okay, everybody. What's up, everybody? Thanks for having me on the show, Alex, as well. Everybody, my name is Breeze. I'm basically a nightclub promoter, marketing director, a promotional director. I also own a co-branding company with Snooki from the Jersey Shore. Um, I do it all. Like Alex said, I'm jack of all trades. So I basically, like I was telling him before, I have my hand in the cookie jar with many things. But mostly marketing. That's my main thing. I love doing marketing, and I love doing cool things and promotions, and nothing with anything named management. So I stay away from that word. I was telling Alex before that. So
Cool, cool. So let's kind of start off by talking about how you got into the whole nightclub scene and nightlife culture.
that's a cool question, actually, because everyone asks me that. I was about 17 or 18 years old, and I was actually doing house parties, and I was having like 300 people at my parents' house, and I was doing these keg parties. I used to hate the nightclub business, and I never went to nightclubs. And this one kid came up to me. He's like, "Listen," he's like, you have all these kids coming to your house. He's like, "Why don't you bring them to a nightclub and run a guest list and make money off of it instead of you doing these keg parties and charging like $3 or $4 for a cup?" He's like, "I'll pay you like $6 or $7, a person to come to the club." So it was a place called Metropolis in Queens that I was doing. And the first 2 nights I never showed up. I ran a guest list, and the kid was handing me $500-600 every, for both nights. I never showed up. And I was like, wow, this is great money. How could a kid 18 years old turn this down? I was like, wow. I'm like, let me just show up for the third time and let me keep on pushing it. So instead of doing it at my house, I was doing it at the nightclub. I was making money off of it instead of getting in trouble all the time by the cops or my parents. I would do it at the nightclub now, and I was making money off of it. I was earning really good money, so I kept on going from there, and then I actually moved on to Sound Factory after that, which is a legendary nightclub in New York City, and they made me triple my money than I was making at Metropolis. So from there, I kept on moving up the ranks, and I met a guy named Bobby Goodrich. He took me under my wing, who was a legendary man in the business, and became who I am now today.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a great come-up story. You're already doing it yourself, and then hey, why not get paid to do it?
Exactly. I was, doing these house parties and having fun, and doing it in my backyard, and, having 300 kids from your high school, freshman year of college. Next, doing it at nightclubs, which I really didn't like nightclubs. I never went to a tea night, never been to a nightclub till I was 18 years old, so it was actually pretty interesting.
So after you made this transition into nightlife, was it for you kind of you noticed that wow, you can get good money just doing what you're doing, or did you fall in love with it, or kind of talk about how you feel about nightlife and the whole industry?
I actually did, listen, I looked at it like this. It was a business. I saw it for the money. I really didn't enjoy going out and having fun. I was never into the drinking scene, really. It was all a business. It was all about making that money and putting it away and, spending it on things I wanted to spend it on. At the end of the day, I still do that now. I don't drink. I don't party. I don't have fun. I go there. You see, people see me outside the door. I observe everything. I want to see what the people, the customers are doing, how they observe things, how they're having fun. So the next time I do an event, I want to see, how can I enhance their time of having a great time. So at the end of the day, it's really business. So that's how I look at it.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely attest to that. I always see you. You're always that fly on the wall at a club, always watching, seeing what your customers are doing, checking the line out, making sure everything's running smoothly. You're
Yeah.
always that guy. I feel like everyone can count on you to not be just popping bottles and doing the job right.
That's what my partners are for. They're out there partying, bringing their friends to the tables, getting them to buy bottles. I'm outside at the front door, making sure the line runs smooth and the cashiers are ringing that money. So that's what it's all about.
So let's kind of backtrack a bit. You talked about Sound Factory. Obviously, my generation, we unfortunately missed out on it. But I want to talk about how you got your foot in the door there and what it was like being a promoter at Sound Factory.
Sound Factory was a legendary nightclub, and I tell people all the time that nightclubs weren't the same as back then, my generation. People, I think people are spoiled these days with these big festivals and seeing these big DJs. Back then there wasn't these big concerts. There was no way to see these big DJs. You didn't have BPM radio. You didn't have YouTube. You didn't have Facebook. So there was no outlets to really, hear these talented DJs in other ways, besides going to a nightclub. So you would do like 4 or 5 thousand people on a certain night and experience that way of hearing a great night and a great set of like Jonathan Peters or Junior Vasquez or Eddie Baez playing a night at Sound Factory. There was only one place to meet. You wouldn't be able to meet, a female or a male on social media. You'd have to go to a nightclub to meet them, instead of going on social media. So the days of meeting people would be at a nightclub. It wouldn't be on social media. So social media basically destroyed the club business.
Hmm.
So back then it was fun. People wanted to go to like nightclubs to meet people and socialize. So the days of back then of going to Sound Factory was unbelievable. People would go out, have a great time. They'd stay till 8, 9 in the morning, sometimes till noon. The place wouldn't close. People would get there at 10 o'clock at night, and people would leave at noon the next morning. It was just a fun time, and the music was that great. Jonathan Peters would last all day. Listen, people did what they had to do, but it was just a great time. And the club business is not what it was, and I wish it was. But it'll never be the same. And listen, I think social media killed the business. That's my personal opinion. But
Hmm.
listen, look how many outlets you have. People send these Facebook invites, free. It's free promotion. There was nothing like that. You'd have to hear about it. It was word of mouth. People were like, oh, come to Sound Factory, come to Sound Factory, come to Sound Factory. Now I get like a million Facebook invites. Like, come to my party, come to this, come to that, come to this. It's not worth it. So, those days were good. Those days were fun.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you on that. It's almost with social media, everyone's taking it for granted now. Like when it first came out, it was obviously a great tool and a great way to reach people. But everyone has their blinders on now. You get an event and okay, well, this event and 5,000 other events, and then you get 5,000 of the same event invites from 20 people that you are like, I don't know who you are. So I
Yeah,
feel you there. It's definitely less personal than I feel like it was back in the day.
it's oversaturated now. Too many people took advantage of it, and everybody's on there, and there's no personalization to it anymore. Anybody could be anybody on the internet. You really don't know who's emailing you or even writing to you on there. So
Hmm.
it's like, listen, somebody could be, look at catfish. It's like catfish. You don't know who's
Right.
writing. It could be a fake hot girl writing to you, but it's really a guy. Be like, come down to my party, and they're like, we'll meet by the bar, and you're really never gonna meet that person. But you're gonna show up because you really want to meet that girl, but they just want you to come to the club and spend that $20 at the door, but that person's really never gonna show up. So,
Right.
what happens? Hey, just letting you know. It happened before. So
So like, I agree with you completely. From hearing the stories of the guys in your day, and even your attesting to it, how things have changed drastically. I kind of want you to point out within the nightclub itself. So regardless of the social media, the promotion, but when you're in that club, how do you feel the atmosphere has changed over the years from, let's say, a Sound Factory to whatever it is that's happening now? Like I don't even know what a comparable event would be. You get what I'm saying? How has that vibe changed within the club?
I think it's the generation of people going out. The kids are spoiled. They don't. I think it's the music itself too. I don't think the age group is the age of kids are going out that want to like hear that music, go out for the music. They want to go out. And it's hard to explain because me growing up, it was about like hearing the classic sets and want to hearing like I call it classics now, but you want to hear the vocals, you want to hear this, you want to hear that. Now it's these kids want to get they want to get messed up a little bit, drink a little bit, and party, 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 and they want to go to these big festivals. And again, you didn't have that. It's like they want to like enjoy these big, 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 big concerts that you didn't have back then. The vibe was always different. The vibe was always in a nightclub. It wasn't in these big concert venues.
Right.
So you got to contest to that we never had those big venues. So the vibes were very different. But it's all about the music. It was the music has changed. It was all about vocals back then, and it was a little dark house. But now it's like you get these like weird like listen. Some people love this. Oh my God, dubstep now is I just sit there and I'm just like, what the heck is this stuff? I'm just like, I can't even listen to it. But you got EDM, which is tremendous. It's weird. I tell everybody, everyone's like, what would you rather do, book a celebrity or have an EDM house DJ? I'd rather have an EDM house DJ, to be honest with you, because that's what's drawing. Nobody cares about a celebrity anymore because the DJs are the celebrity now. You know,
Hmm.
so it's crazy. It's really pretty crazy. And you know what? The DJ was a lot cheaper back then now than they are now. So
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've noticed that. It's honestly been one of my biggest grievances just going out is everything, every club. It seems like it's almost lost its identity and become a concert venue in that sense of because that's what EDM are the rock stars now, and it seems like everything came from this nightclub, and that was the culture. But now you're just there to have your phone up and be like, look at this DJ. Let me show all my friends who are missing out on this. I feel like that's definitely a huge change in how it's been.
who would ever thought Live Nation is doing Madison Square Garden with Steve Aoki and selling out? Come on, like
Right.
Armin van Buuren sells out Madison Square. Steve Aoki is doing 3 days now or something. Come on, like Swedish House Mafia does 32 cities and sells out everywhere. Like, come on, like that's unheard of. Like Steve, like come on. Like you can't even get Jay-Z to sell out stadiums like these guys do. So it's like it's a big accomplishment for the EDM world. So listen, I respect it. I think it's great. But it also hurt the business as well because in the nightlife business you can only afford so much to pay these guys, and they turn down offers a lot because they don't want to do these clubs, especially at a club that does 1,000 people. They don't want to accept an offer that's very low, and they'll just go to another place and accept a bigger offer that can hold 3 times the size amount of people. So it also hurts the business as well. And when people don't have the DJs they want to hear, it kind of hurts the business as well. So it's a lose. It's a win. It's a win-win for the DJ. It's a lose-lose for the club business.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you on that. And I think back in the day, just from, of course, I haven't experienced it, but from what I've heard, especially with records and everything, there was that level of, almost that level of talent that was kind of required. So it's kind of like if you had a local guy or you had like a local hero even, it was, you could book them and still have a great night and still get away with it, whereas now it seems you have to kind of book these bigger guys. And it seems like the coming up talent pool is, with technology, it's gotten less about talent and more just about these big hype tracks, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and you also got to remember that Serato kills the business too. So anybody can become a DJ these days. Let's just be real,
Right.
Everybody tries to become a DJ. So it kind of hurts the business like that in that sense as well. So
Hmm.
listen, I'd get up there and DJ if I wanted to. I've done it before. So
See, he does everything. He's a DJ, a promoter, marketing guy. This is jack of all trades, straight up.
you gotta do it sometimes.
So let's talk about this because I was actually really excited to have you on. You're the first, I guess, real promoter on the show, and kind of one of the things that I've personally seen is that it seems like a lot of promoters, it's kind of they're just popular. They have their friends. Maybe they hire some sub promoters who are popular as well, and it seems it's just a popularity contest to bring people down. And I know you're a guy that you've done this for so long, and I kind of want to see what strategies you implement to make a night successful or a party successful over the course of a couple months.
Well, you gotta remember this. You gotta listen. Social media is a big factor to getting the word out there and making a party happen. But it's a party within a party you need to have. It all starts with the DJ, and the DJ's gotta provide the music that people want to hear. And besides having the right promoters and the right staff, they gotta spread the word, and you gotta do that by grassroots. There's no more. Listen, Facebook, like I was saying before, Facebook's only doing so much for you. Instagram's doing so much for you. I look at it like this. Text messaging and phone calls is great. Listen, it just reinforce. Social media is a reinforcement of what you're doing. So
Mhm.
you got to go out there, do the grassroots stuff, do the flyers, do the mailers. You got to send out your text messages, and then social media is your reinforcement of the word of what you're doing. So you got to have that name, and you have to have that brand and what you bring, and listen, your reputation's everything. So if I'm a person that runs Body English, for example, and I say, hey, listen, Body English presents a Thursday night at Carlton on the Park. I'm just giving you an example. It's another nightclub. People look at, wow, well, Body English is successful. I think Thursday night's gonna be successful, and you have the same staff, and the same staff's pushing it. You're gonna get another win-win. You're gonna have another successful night. Because that's what people are like. Wow, well, Body English is great, so this place is obviously gonna do well. But it all starts with your DJ. Your DJ creates the party, and you have to have a party within a party. The sub promoters are great. Listen, at the end of the day, they're only going to get the word out there as much as you want them to get it out there. And a lot of those kids are like, hey, listen, I'm getting paid $3 a head, $4 a head. They're not getting paid much. So for what it is, they're coming down with their 3 or 4 friends. They're really not making money. You know how it is. You see it. They're
Right.
like making a few dollars. So they just want to get it for free. So when they're going to push it when they come down. When they're going to come down, they're not going to come down every week. They're going to come down once in a while. So when they come down, they're going to push it. They want to get their comp ticket. They want to get it for free. But it's all about grassroots marketing. And social media is the reinforcement afterwards. You got to do that. You got to do the phone call. You got to do the text messages. You got to do the mailers. Word of mouth is the best tool. Using your brand as as a reinforcement as well, because people see that. People take that as a consideration. You using your name. People like, oh, well, I know that person. He does this. He does this. He does that. He's successful at that place, so this place is probably gonna do great. The bartending staff. People see that the same people. They're like, wow, we feel comfortable going there. We want to do this. So it all takes into consideration. But the music also is a big factor too, because people want to hear good music. And when people are dancing, having fun, that's a big factor. And the other big factor is the girls. When the girls are there, the guys come. That's a big plus. And they spend. Guys want to spend. They want to impress the girls. I want to buy a bottle. I want to do this. I want to do that. They want to impress the girls. So can't go wrong with that. But that makes a successful party.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, for sure, you definitely hit on everything. It seems like you really go all out. You get the marketing down and the grassroots, and your whole staff and every element of the club is planned out and meticulous. And you made an interesting point, and I hear this a lot, and I think we all know it to be true. When the girls come, the guys come. So, of course, the next follow-up question is, what are some of the best ways that you would recommend to get the girls in?
You got to give them. Listen, the girls want free admission. They want to get pampered. They want to get spoiled. Give them free admission. Give them like an open bar, maybe it's a certain time. Give them maybe a free bottle. 5 girls get a free bottle of Goose. It depends on the night you're running and how much your budget is. You got to play around with your budget. But get a few girl tables. Maybe hire a few models walking around. Your staff should really hit it on the nail. If you have a few hot girls, you're definitely gonna get the guys to come. That's
Cool.
the main important thing.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense for sure. So let's talk about, because one thing I like about you is you literally have run the gambit from 18 events to especially that super now that older crowd. So I kind of wanted you to talk about the differences between the atmosphere and vibes of both, and how you've been able to hit both successfully.
Well, the 18 over kids start off. They're young, and they just want to go out and party. They don't care. You can put pots and pans in there, but the one thing you learn about them is they will go anywhere that's just fun, and they know that if you're throwing a party, they're gonna show up. You put a DJ from the radio station in there, they're gonna follow. You put a guy from 92.3 or local radio stations in New York, you put them on there, they're gonna follow. So you put a DJ in there, they're following. If I put a reality star in there, they're gonna follow. Listen, I've had Bridge for 14 years now on Tuesday nights, and when we first started, it was like, wow, 18 over. Their brothers and the sisters are telling these kids like, oh, you have to go there, you have to go there, you have to go. It's word of mouth as well. But these kids have nothing to do in the summertime on a Tuesday night. They're all like, oh my God, we gotta do something, we gotta do something. So it's a big plus for me on a Tuesday night that there's nothing to do. Everyone talks about it. It's a word of mouth, and it's a fun place. These kids want to have fun. So for me, it's a win-win. But the vibe on on an 18 overnight compared to a 21 overnight is these kids don't care who the DJ is. They just want to hear music they hear on the radio. They want to have fun. They think they want to get just dressed up. The girls want to get dolled up, decked out, want to wear their makeup so the guys can be looking at them. They think they're the superstars, which is fine. The mothers are gonna walk out of the house dressing up in short skirts. You know how it is. They just want to get dolled up. That's what they want to do. They don't care. They just want to go to a nightclub that's open. That's the difference between 18 and 21. 21 over, listen, at the end of the day, it's all about what you provide. You're providing a good party, they're going to come. You provide a good DJ that plays great music, they're coming. You give them what the people want to hear, they want to see, they're coming. The people want to see a celebrity, you got to give it to them. Glow is a perfect example. Glow's a big room. It was a big room. People want to see these EDM DJs, we supply them with EDM DJs. People want to see a celebrity, I gave them the celebrities. People want to see a track act, we gave them the track act they heard on the radio. So I hit all the areas for Glow, but you gave the people what they wanted to see. People wanted Latin music, we gave them Latin music on Saturdays once in a while. So you got to give the people what they want, and that's what makes the difference between the 18 over and 21 over. The 18 over kids don't care. They just want to go out. They just want to get decked out. The girls want to just get decked out and get looked at by guys and have fun and dance. 21 over, it's all about the good parties, and sometimes it's about what they want to see, what they want to hear, and who's running the party and who's doing that, who's going to be there. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, wow. That's a very insightful comparison, actually. It's the first time I've heard it all laid out, and makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Glow. I used to go to Glow for teen clubs, showing my age here. But
Yeah.
I always thought it was a fascinating room, and obviously it's now Buffalo Wild Wings, rest in peace. But let's talk about Glow. Like I kind of felt it was a special place, and it seems like it had that big city capacity, which is like I think unique to Long Island. So kind of talk about how it was running that and how that went.
Glow was a special place. Before Glow was Mirage, and
Hmm.
I was there for 9 years. Rest in peace, the senior who was the owner, who actually recently passed in December. Was
Oh wow.
actually, yeah, he was a father figure to me. Glow and Mirage actually changed nightclub business in Long Island. Actually, in New York, I would say, and it gave an element that there was nothing compared to that place. It was a big venue. It gave people what it wanted. It was a big spot. People danced, had fun. It gave everybody what they wanted, from DJs to celebrities to track acts. You had it all. The Latin night, like I just said. It had tea nights. It was just a big venue. The vibe was always there. The room was just perfectly fit. We did it all. There was not one thing I could think of that we didn't do right. We created the vibe every time. When something didn't work, we went back to the drawing board and we just put our minds together and we made it. We came up with something else, and we gave everybody what they wanted. But that lasting 9 years is a big accomplishment. A club doesn't last usually longer than 2 years, and then they have to renovate. Mirage lasted 4 years, and then Mirage lasted 5 years, and then Glow lasted 4. And then you
Hmm.
know what? Obviously, listen, all good things come to an end, and obviously, listen, we got a great off Buffalo Wild Wings. The owner was just like, should I do it? And, I thought we were gonna find a better place afterwards, and he sold it. And his words were, if I don't have something soon, he's gonna die, and he actually really passed. I thought he was joking when he said that.
Wow.
Yeah, I was actually supposed to meet with him the day before he passed. I canceled on him because I was doing something for a charity, and we were supposed to have dinner, and he wouldn't have made it to dinner anyway. He had a brain aneurysm like a few hours beforehand, and before the time we were supposed to eat, and just didn't make it. But he was a great
Wow.
guy, and I respect him more than anything. He was a father figure, and I learned a lot from the man, and he changed the nightlife business, and that's how I felt. And I think if he was around, he'd find something new again, and he would create something even bigger than what Chloe was. And hopefully somebody, takes his place. And I wish I was that guy that could, find something and recreate something as similar to that or better than what he had. But it's hard. There's no, it's all about location and where you want to put something like that size. Nothing really is that easy anymore to find something that size. So it's tough.
Hmm.
Tough.
Wow. Well, there you go. That's Glow in a nutshell. And I didn't even know he died. I met him a few times. Shook his hand a few times. Seems like a cool guy for sure.
Great guy, very smart, and he's very stand up. He didn't like many people, but listen, when he liked you, and he was like a father. He was a good guy. So,
Word. So let's before we move on from the promoter thing, because there's tons of things that you do that we need to hit on. I kind of want to talk about some of the guys you work with in the Long Island or New York scene, some other big promoters and other influential people in the industry that you've worked alongside with, and kind of talk about your relationships with them and how you guys have worked together over the years.
Okay. One of my partners is Richie Bedrosian, who who actually was with me at Mirage and Glow. He's another father figure to me. He's actually one of the guys who found Body English. We went into Body English together, and we created something that nobody thought would actually turn into a nightclub. Body English is a catering hall that's called Chateaubriand, and he actually renovated the place and put about $4 million into the back outside area. And Body English is a beautiful outside deck now. I don't know if you've seen it before. Many people have. It's a wonderful place. It's an outside. I call it an outside gathering because it's really not about the music or anything. It's 25 and over Tuesday night. We do about 2,000 people. It's a gorgeous venue. It doesn't belong in New York. It belongs somewhere in Vegas. That's how beautiful it is. But
Wow.
it's special. We've been there for 6 years now. He really changed the summery feel of something, and it's actually really cool. Something interesting. But
Nice.
he's one of my partners. Lou B's another guy, Louis Branchinelli. Lou B changed Long Island and the nightlife scene by bringing these big EDM DJs to Long Island. He's the one that brought all the DJs to Glow. He changed Glow and Mirage by bringing these DJs. He's always believed in these DJs. He actually owned a place called Space in Hamptons. Nobody knew, in our time, Space even existed out there. Actually, in Southampton, he owned it. He had a lot of the New York DJs that used to spin there, like Danny Tenaglia and a few other guys. But he owned Space out there. He was a big believer, and he kept on running with it. Nobody ever believed him that EDM would be a big thing. Dance music would be huge, and dance music is what it is today. And he's running Governor's Island now. He's running RPM with Pasha, doing a lot of big events. So I'm very proud of him. He's still involved with us in the nightlife scene in Long Island. Currently, he's at Love Nightclub with Sugar, as you say. I think he's working on Governor's Island, Patio with Trudy Ceballos this Sunday coming up. He has a few big events. I think he has like 82 events this year coming up with some big DJs. So he's very big. My other partners, Mikey Lynx and Joey Yanks, the Lynx Promotion Group. Those guys have been great. We've linked up since Posh days. We used to run Posh Thursdays. I was at Posh also at Mirage. They let me do both, which is great. That was in the Garden City Hotel. We became tight. Now we still run like Cavo. We got Aura. We got all the little minor clubs. We do, Z Hotel now on Saturdays. We got a few spots, which, we're all linked in together, which is great. And it's fun, We all stay like a family, which is really good and interesting. We never crossed each other's paths. And we all respect each other, which is really cool. Those are the main, partners that I really consider partners in this whole thing. And, respect those guys. They're good guys.
Yeah, definitely. I've had the pleasure of meeting most of those guys. Definitely good guys. Know their way around the scene, and you guys have all done really good things together for sure.
Yeah, they're awesome guys.
And the last thing I want to talk about on the promoter thing, came up with another one. Got to hit it. I know the Long Island scene in particular, which two hangouts ago, I believe, we had Josh Phillips on, and we were
Okay.
talking kind of about the Long Island scene. And I know from talking to people outside of Long Island, they don't understand the concept of Long Island in general, like the whole place. But when you get to nightlife, I feel it's even more complicated. If you could talk about kind of the competitive atmosphere of it, and kind of the bickering and the baby bullshit, if you will. Not to put anyone on blast, but just talk about how that all unfolds, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, Long Island's very territorial. You have you have these younger guys that try to make a name for themselves, so they try to try to say things and start rumors and try to create bickering, and listen, you got to avoid it at the end of the day. They try to make a name for themselves, like I try to say. Listen, do I respect them? Yeah, I respect them because they're hardworking kids, but at the end of the day, you look at it like this. I'm up here and they're down here. But listen, I respect them for what they do. Listen, they worked with us many times. Some of these kids, but they try to go on their own, and you got to respect that. They work very hard. I don't bash them. I think they want to do their own thing. You can't bash anybody for trying to do their own thing. Listen, I was young at one point, and I wanted to do my own thing. So you can't ever bash anybody for trying to, work hard and want to do their own thing and make their own money. Listen, everybody has their own opinions on things. Not everyone wants to listen or wants to do things, a certain way, or or anybody else's way. They want to do it their way. So you got to respect people in that sense. And you know, hey, listen, at the end of the day, it's like you gotta survive. So you got to do what you want to do to survive. And if talking cocky to other people about other people, that helps you out and helps you to survive and gets you to where you want to get. Hey, listen, God bless. But I learned one thing: the less you talk, the better it is. And listen, at the end of the day, I lose no sleep over it. And people don't understand that, and I laugh at certain things. You have to, because if you don't, you're gonna let these kids bother you, and it ruins your game and what you do. So.
Hmm. I feel you there. That's a good approach. No one in our business sleeps, but when we do, we don't lose sleep over these people
Nah,
that piss us off.
because you gotta remember, you're successful. You can't let somebody knock you off your game.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, you gotta do what you have to do to survive, and you gotta take it a different approach if it crosses the line. But bickering and talk, it's always talk. You could always compete, and you could always go at them with certain ways, but there's no reason to even entice certain people. Shouldn't
Hmm.
even go that far.
I feel you. All right, so let's switch gears to your other many hats. Let's get into the whole marketing aspect. I think that's just a good blanket term of everything you've done.
Mhm.
From the managing to the branding. Let's talk about when that all started for you.
Okay. That started with me when I was about, I'd say, 21, 22. You know, the nightlife scene started changing. Obviously, 9/11 happened. People weren't going out. Um, things have changed. A few years passed after 9/11. Um, you know, Obviously, businesses are trying to get back on track. People are trying to get their businesses to where they were. Obviously, everyone's affected by 9/11, and everyone's asking for help. So people need help in creating ways of how to get their businesses back to what they were doing. So I had a few people like, can you help me? Can you put some plans together? Can we do this? Can you help do this? Listen, if you could run a nightclub in New York City, you could basically do anything. That's how I look at it.
Hmm.
So I was like, you know what? I went to school for this stuff. How can I not want to take this approach and try to do something? So I did. I was like, you know what? I took on a few clients. They were small clients at the time. I think it was a restaurant in Long Island. What else did I do? I think it was Mateo's, actually. What else did I take? I took a small local restaurant over here. Was it Sullivan's? I think it was Sullivan's too. Small little restaurants, and I marketed and branded them. And then I had a product that came to me was called Slam Shots, and Slam Shots was a liquor shot that they wanted to get out. So I started getting into the marketing aspect, and I started this company called PGMG. It was Professional Global Marketing Group. Me and this kid Max Feinberg got together. He was one of my best. He's still my best friend. He's my partner in the group, and we just clicked together. And listen, he was the brains. I was the guy. I got the accounts. We put ourselves together, and we started creating things together, and we started putting plans together. And you learn, you take the contacts you meet from the nightclub business and who you meet, and you branch off doing other things and other ventures. Just like I did with everything else I learned in the nightclub business. You have to take whatever you know and whoever you meet and just branch off, because you have to. The nightclub business is just short lived. You just don't want to. You don't want to just keep on doing nightlife. You want to branch out and try other things. So I tried the marketing thing, and I loved it. And I still listen. Anything needs to be marketed. So you keep on going and going and just keep on running with it. So it was pretty fun.
Nice. Yeah, I love that. How I completely agree with you. You learn so many lessons from the nightlife industry that's so applicable on a grander scale and a more diverse scale, and that's awesome that you've been able to do that.
Yeah, it was fun. And I still do it. So it's a good thing. Listen, if you can run a nightclub, you can do anything you want. Believe me when I tell you. That's how I tell everybody.
So let's get into your the marketing you're doing now in terms of let's get into the like you said, you don't like to use the term managing, but I guess as a again a market a bigger blanket term so that people kind of understand what you're saying. So let's talk about that and what you're up to now.
Well, right now, me and Snooki, Nicole Palizzi from Jersey Shore teamed up. We're partnered up, and we started a marketing branding company for our artists. It's turning into a record label. We really didn't want to tell people that. We're in talks with certain celebrities. I'll give you one of them, which is Ryan Seacrest, about
Ooh.
linking together, which is a big one. We have 3 artists under our belt. We're marketing and branding them now. They're getting a lot of exposure through all of Nicole's, social media, which is doing well. She has about 14 million people that follow her on social media, which is huge. We're getting them out there. We're exposing them. We want them to get exposed. We're helping them get out there. Right now, we're getting them endorsement deals, from small edge companies, so that they could run with it. And obviously, when they get big, they get hit. They could obviously use that leverage to get their own deals. They're obviously getting radio play because Nicole's behind them. They're getting on concerts because Nicole's behind them. So it's a win-win for for the artist, but she wanted to do it because she wanted the artist to live a dream like she lived the dream.
Mhm.
She was given a chance, out of nowhere. She lived the dream. So she wanted to obviously help others and get them to where they want to get. And they're very talented who we have. So that's one aspect we're doing. I also have Adrienne Malouf, which is one of the Malouf family members. She has jewelry line. She has a Zing Vodka, which is a vodka company, which the Maloufs own. Chris Brown actually is a part of it as well. He's actually pushing it really hard. We have who else do we have under our belt? I do a lot of stuff with Robbie Cano from the Seattle Mariners. He was a Yankee. He's a good guy. I do a lot of help with him. I help him out. Who else? Who else can I help? Gigi from Jerseylicious. I do a lot of stuff with her. Obviously, Brabble is another account that I told you about. I do all the celebrities for them. I'm handling a lot of celebrities we're getting for them now. So, that's, the marketing I do. Basically, celebrity, I'd say it's celebrity branding and management. Well, not management, I'm sorry. Celebrity marketing. Management, like I was explaining before, it's hard to explain the management word. You don't want to use that management word because just in case, that person, something goes wrong with that person that you're representing or whatever's going on, you don't want that image, all falling back on you. And I explain that to everybody. You never want that bad image or just, you never know what happens. Just anything can backfire on you. You don't want that image ever going back on you. So you always got to explain that and say, hey, you know what? I'm just marketing and branding that person. You don't want to use that management part because, God forbid, something happens or something goes wrong. You never know. So
Mhm.
that's the truth behind that. So
So I think that's really an interesting thing that, especially the average person, is really not accustomed to, is the whole concept of branding a celebrity or an artist. If you could talk about kind of some of the strategies, like you mentioned with the social media using Nicole's resources, but what sort of strategies do you guys implement to really get their brand out there and establish their brand?
well, we basically, listen, we use their fan pages for social media. We use their Facebook fan page. We use their Instagram. We'll have Nicole, say on an Instagram video, follow BCAP, blah blah blah, one of our artists. We'll call a radio station. We'll be like, listen, we'll do an interview for you if you play our song for our artist. We'll call the radio station. We'll be like, listen, if you have our artist perform at your place, we'll have Nicole go out there and introduce them. So it's a win-win for everybody. So a lot of the radio stations want Nicole. A lot of radio stations embrace her. So they'll do anything. It's like a swap for basically. It's a barter. So you get Nicole for us getting something out of it for our artist. So it's a cool thing. But we basically put out tweets for our artists. We put out Instagram videos. We put out posts all the time for them. We'll do appearances. We'll do press release for them. We'll do endorsement deals for them. Where we'll send out letters from Nicole, or she'll call like one of the companies, say, hey, listen, I want to get an endorsement deal for one of my artists. Can you please send them a bunch of sneakers or a bunch of clothes, and I'll shoot out a tweet for them. So it's a win-win for everybody with that.
Nice. And do you guys, when you book all this stuff, is it exclusively New York or all over the country or the world, or
All over the
how
country.
does that work?
All over the
Wow.
country. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. Listen, when it goes to like Japan and stuff, we have a translator actually for that. It's pretty neat because I really don't know how to speak Japanese, but
You don't. See, I would have been surprised if you said that you did, but it actually wouldn't surprise me at all, considering how much you do, that you could just spit out Japanese. But,
yeah, I wish.
you gotta get that Rosetta Stone or something.
Yeah, I got. We have a translation thing on our emails, but I still don't know how to do it. It's pretty funny.
Nice. So, of course, you mentioned Brabble. For those people who don't know what it is, let's first explain it, and then talk about your involvement with them.
Okay. Brabble is a new social media app. I called it, like I told you before, I call it Instagram on steroids. Brabble is a new app that has text, audio, video. We have a feature that called Brabble Backs, which people can reply back with audio, text, and video. The cool thing about it is the audio feature. So if you have a celebrity that you want to ask a question to, and the celebrity wants to talk to you back, you have the authenticity of getting a reply back, a Brabble back with them, talking to you guys in voice, which is great. You can reply back with video, which is great. Not that many, well, actually, no app has that. We have the patent on it, which is great. We have 45-second video. We have 5-minute audio clips. So any DJs or anybody out there that wants to do audio clips, you can play you can play half, a little set on there. You can put it up there. You could social share it on Facebook and Twitter, any of your posts. We have a lot of celebrities coming on there right now. It's a great site. It's a great app. It's a great thing that we have going on. I think everybody should check it out. It's definitely fun. My involvement with there is I'm handling the marketing for them. I do a lot of the celebrity marketing for them. I'm getting all the celebrities for them. Right now we have Drita from Mob Wives. We have Snooki. Rock Nation's involved with us. I would like to announce one of them. I think we signed today. I don't know if I can announce that yet, but I'll say it anyway. I don't care. Chris Brown is with us now, which is big. Rev Theory, Randy Orton from WWE. Who else? I think there's a few others, but we have a nice little audience there. Listen, social media is everyday life, so everybody's on it. It's everybody's on there to interact with each other, see what everybody's doing. In my day, I never had that. All we had was if we were lucky, is a beeper. I didn't have anything else. I had payphones with a quarter. I used to have to run that payphone. I didn't know what anybody else was doing. I'd have to walk around the block and see what my friends were doing. You didn't have anything, so. But social media is very huge, and our app is very big. It's getting bigger, and everybody should check it out. It's gonna get some traction out there.
Nice. Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, I wanted a beeper and a Palm Pilot. Those are my two biggest aspirations. But then cell phones kind of became big when I was like in middle school, so I got to dodge that lifestyle.
Yeah, I miss my beeper more than anything. I wish you could dodge all the calls you want now.
Yeah. So we've talked a lot about social media, and we've talked about your involvement with Brabble and also the negative aspects on the industry. Let's kind of talk about some of the good things about social media throughout everything that you're doing, from the nightlife to the marketing, and kind of talk about the positive aspects and how it really helps.
The positive way of everything is that you reach people that new people that you don't necessarily have in your circle. You meet new people. You brand out to new people. It's a way that you could target new people, but it also could affect you because you don't know the audience really. It's free promotion. It's great, but in a sense listen, I'm the kind of guy that I rather hear from somebody instead of seeing it on the internet. I've always been that guy. I rather just hear from somebody instead of like, oh my God, you see it on Facebook? Like this guy's doing this party. You know what I mean? It's like I would never go to someone's party if they told me to go on the internet and see it. But listen, it's everyday life. The way it helps me, and I love the internet for one reason. Like I like to see what everyone's doing from my past. Kids that I grew up with that I don't see every day or hear from every day, and I see them putting up pictures with their kids and stuff. That's what I appreciate Facebook for. I don't appreciate Facebook to get my face, my statuses out for nightclubs and stuff. I really don't. You know what I mean? That's not. Even though I have to do it, it's because that's what people like to see sometimes. But my preference is to see what my old friends are doing. My high school buddies that I used to play hockey with. That's how it is. But people, the social media is to reach new people and get the brand out there, get the word out there. Target the people that you want to target. There's always new people recurrent. Listen, at the end of the day, anybody can do my job, and they just got to find a better way how to do it. And listen, there's always somebody out there better than you that can do something. They just got to learn how to do it better. And one day, listen, I'm getting older, and you got to keep up with the times, and you got to keep on reinventing yourself and find these new kids. And obviously, social media is the way to find these new kids, because I'm not going to be out there on the streets looking for these new kids to be like, hey, you want to promote a nightclub? You want to do this? You want to do that? Why don't you come to my party? That's just the truth. So social media is the way to find these new kids.
Hmm. So that's interesting. You make a good point. Nothing can last forever, and you're getting up there. You're still a young guy. You're not like old by any means, but times are changing.
I'm getting up there. Trust me. 33 years old. Trust me. I'm getting up there.
Um, so I think that's a great transition into. So what can we expect next from the Breeze machine? What's up there?
I'm actually considering doing TV next. I'm getting a lot of offers to do reality TV. I was actually working on trying to get on the Entourage movie, but didn't fall through. So, can't, yeah, listen, I was trying to get on there, but listen, not everything goes your way sometimes. But I think TV is the next step. I was never really for it. I was always against it because you never want to expose your life. But been getting some good offers and just listening and seeing what's next. Everyone's been asking me to do it, and I just want to see what's out there.
Hmm.
Right opportunity, I'll do it. Just the shows that have been asking me, it's been Mob Wives, you know, Jersey Shore, some thing. This, ones I deal with already, but nothing really something I want to do yet. So
Right.
it'll come soon. Something will come that I like. So
Do you want to do acting in it, or do you want to like what kind of role do you see yourself in the
you know,
business side?
I just listen, just want to be myself. If something comes around with the nightlife scene that you want to be yourself and how you conduct your business,
Hmm.
that's something I'll do. So right now it's really care for.
Hmm. That's one thing I've kind of seen over the years is this kind of almost connection with MTV and nightclubs, specifically, Long Island, New York. It does seem like a perfect fit. Of course, you've seen it. You're working with the guys who've done it. So yeah, it seems like a nice, great step for you.
They found them at my nightclubs. They found J-Well at my nightclub. She left me for Jersey Shore.
Jenny leaving you for Jersey Shore.
Yep,
What a woman.
she left Glow nightclub for Jersey Shore. I'm still mad at you if you can hear me.
That's right. JWoww, you're being called out
Yeah.
for leaving the nest.
Yep,
All
she
right,
did.
cool, man. So I guess to kind of wrap up, let's talk about all the events you have coming up and anything else you want to shout out, things you need to announce, all that good stuff.
Well, I'll be at Cabo tonight with DJ Pro Style. Tomorrow I'll be at the Z Hotel. Revel Sunday. Tuesday I'll be at Bridgeview and Body English. Thursday I'll be at El Baco. It's on a new rooftop. It's a little lounge. I'm doing it for a friend as a favor. She's a good girl. She owns the place. So I want to help her out. And, I'm just running through the summer and just trying to get through summer, enjoy it. And obviously for the fall, we're going to do some big things. We'll get the EDM DJs back. Obviously, we got Electric Zoo coming up, which we'll be a part of. I think I'll be in, where am I going? Is it Toronto or no, Ottawa? I think I'm going to this thing called Escape in 2 weeks. It's like a big festival. So I got some pretty cool things coming up. Just, we'll release them pretty soon. These EDM festivals are too big. There's something bigger than I can only imagine, I wish I was part of these things when I was younger. Something great. It's fun for these kids. I wish I was these kids' ages throwing these events. I'd be having a field day with them. I'd be doing one
Yeah.
every weekend.
And also let's tell everyone where on social media they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook.com/BreezeNYC. You can also find me on Twitter, BreezeNYC. You can find me on Instagram, BreezeNYC66. And that's it. That's pretty much it. And I was very excited to be here tonight, guys, and glad you guys had me on here. Alex does a great job, and thanks for everything. I really appreciate it.
Cool, man. Anything else you feel like we didn't hint on that you want to talk about?
That's it, man. We hit everything.
Cool.
Covered everything. So,
All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Breeze. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. You can follow him at all of his social media, as you mentioned. You can follow us, runthenightltd.com or facebook.com/runthenightltd or Twitter at runthenightltd. Same for the Instagrams. And yeah, Breeze, thanks again for joining us. It's been real.
thank you, Alex. I appreciate it, buddy. Have a good one.
Peace out, everyone.
Good night, everybody. Bye.